VPR Radio Thursday. I got to see my partner last night.
Oh
I'm
man.
feeling energetically fed with all that great positivity that was in the room. I mean, partner, how are you, DJ FMI?
Well. VPR. Let's start this off by saying it has been one hell of a day, and
Yes,
we have stormed Fashion Week in our VPR fashion. You know what I mean? And it
as
was
we do.
definitely a blessing to be in the house with so many great designers and me learning fabric. VPR. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Me being at Fashion Week, I've DJ'd events, but I never really just paid attention to
Like getting to watch, right?
yeah, like
You're right.
participating in it, doing media and just like being in the crowd and then absorbing it and seeing how like they're telling a story through their collection.
Hmm.
Getting that from Kiana, that's almost like that experience was just like mind blowing for me. How that.
I love fashion shows. I mean, I will always, my experience with fashion, I worked in fashion for almost 15 years, corporate. Never got to go to a fashion show. So the fact that I go to Fashion Week religiously is just like it's still a dream come true to me.
Yeah.
And I'm just so happy to be able to do what I love. We're always like in the VIP section, I have to mill about in the crowd. Shout out
Definitely.
to Team Money, you know what I mean, for hooking us up. That's family. Shout out to the Pinot Project. Shout out to Code 31 Media that was in the
Yes.
building. Shout out to so many Doc Bob Lee that was hosting.
Kiana, can we speak about just VPR? I know you guys weren't there. Check out our Instagram because you can see some of the footage, and I'm definitely gonna have a video up there just giving a recap of Fashion Week. But tell us about like some of those fabrics that we were seeing. Remember the jacket that we seen with the Jimi Hendrix on the back?
Yeah. He had
That is
Hendrix,
amazing.
he had Muhammad Ali. So that was a metallicized leather, and it looked like it was mercerized. It was absolutely beautiful, and it had like a flow of ombre colors. I mean, I don't know whether it was dip dyed. I didn't get to actually go and like look and touch. If I can look and touch, I can tell you more. But just the quality, what I love about a designer that, I'm looking as things come down the runway.
Mhm.
So I'm sorry, but my eye is meticulous. Project One runway, I'm like the judges. So I see the strings that you didn't snip. I see darts that are
You
a
see,
little messed up. I see how something doesn't fit the model quite right. Or I see how something has been over styled. You know what I mean? You've got a big bunchy, like
hey,
bag style
Kiana,
skirt with a big
VPR.
puffy top, and it just looks
I'm starting to understand when it comes to fashion. You throw on a fur coat or a mink coat, anything looks mean. VPR, I
okay.
was sitting there front row, and I was
Shout out
seeing,
to Daniel's Leather. Oh my God, I
yeah,
live
Daniel.
for that.
And and VPR, some of these designers are right there in Jersey, so don't hesitate to reach out after we upload the vlog to Instagram and Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah,
So
go and
make sure y'all
follow
check
them,
out those
check them out.
designers.
These are designers of color. So that's what I love.
Hmm.
That's what we love. That's what we live for. We love to support our own. If you go out and spend, $1,000 on some Gucci or some Prada, you can spend $1,000 on a quality just as good as a quality product. That's amazing and
Hmm. You
custom.
don't have to spend thousands on Balenciaga all the time, guys. They have so many local developers that will just designers that will sit there and just work with you and tailor it to you. So at least when you step out your house, you know what I mean. You have that elite fit that everybody wants to look for,
Listen,
especially being
there
here.
is nothing better than couture. Okay, something that nobody else is going to be wearing,
101.
something that is made right, one of one, something that is made just for you. It's exclusive, it's beautiful, and it's everlasting. That's what I love about fashion too. When you invest in some key items, some things you should spend a little bit more for, and it doesn't mean you have to spend $100. Well, 100's nothing, but like $1,000. But knowing like for a woman, the little black dress, you have to have a great black dress. Spend a couple of hundred on that black dress. Make it a dress that's interchangeable. I've seen so many great black dresses now that actually turn into like 20 different dresses because it's like a long wrap and you can wrap it this way, that way, this way, that way.
See,
Style
and
it differently. You style something differently, throw a blazer on, and it completely changes. Throw some color on, pops of color. I mean, I live for
those
fashion.
oranges, man. Kiana VPR, the oranges, the purples, and the minks. You had to be there at New
You
York
had to
Fashion
be
Week
there, honey.
on the
Everything.
red carpet. They would say for VPR, it was an amazing experience. Shout out to T450 Style and Launch. Shout out to Team Money and the Pinot Project. And
Absolutely.
it was a blessing to be there. But Kiana, we made history this month. You don't know
Yeah.
why? Other than it being, Black History Month.
Black History
Also,
Month. our 4th year anniversary.
4th year anniversary, guys. Thank you for tuning in to VPR Radio. I'm seeing all the new subscribers right there actually popping up and on my phone. So thank you right there for tuning
Yeah,
in.
thank you for being here with us. We love to come here and do things a little bit differently and spread some positivity because we talk about this often. There's so much negativity, people
Yes,
discussing
sure.
the same thing. You're being blinded to what's really going on around you. So if we can pique your interest, give you some awareness, bring some knowledge to the table and make you feel good, make you feel energized, make you feel this vibe, make you catch these vibes.
Yeah. So, just to get back on the vibes, how was you vibing with Snoop Dogg throwing up the crip walk on the Super Bowl? How was
I'm
you vibing with that, King?
Well, first of all, I didn't watch I didn't watch the halftime show.
Well,
Sorry,
come
guys.
on. You see VPR, we gonna get on here and then she's not gonna watch it. What Kiana, were you not interested in the show? What was it about it?
I always have so much going on, partner. Like my TV wasn't on. I was in a zone getting ready for Bipolar Chronicles. Like there's always so much
Yes,
going on.
yes, I did see that.
So this is not, I don't get sucked into, like, I don't watch the award
The
shows
media
anymore.
train.
When I was in a long-term relationship and we lived together and my boys were still with me, we all used to do like a football thing and I'd cook like a football dinner and garlic bread and chips and dip. I make this special, like, really, really amazing cheese tomato dip. It's incredible, if I must say
Okay.
so myself. Everybody loves it. Guacamole, some quesadillas, whatever. And we'd have like a whole big football Super Bowl theme, and I'd watch the whole thing. But I don't care. I gotta
You,
be,
you know,
to be honest. I watched the highlights, and I was like, okay. I mean, Eminem took the knee, right?
yeah, there we go. You know what I mean? For whatever that means, you know what I mean, for why he did it,
I respect it.
great, yeah, to bring awareness to what he's trying to do.
No one else took it, but I respect it.
You know what I mean? Like, I just think
when you can use your privilege for good, I can appreciate it because the fact is that the privilege is there. The privilege is there.
And what kills me too, Kiana, you know what I mean? They don't get paid for the Super Bowl, and I get that you're gonna get your revenue from your sponsorships or you're gonna get your revenue from your streams.
Yeah.
But y'all both Dr. Dre, like the man was brought up in hip hop where not listening was just the status quo. You know what I'm saying? And for you to bring him on that stage and expect him to actually listen and follow suit is like, come on, you know what you're dealing with. Smoke.
Right.
Snoop Dogg was sitting there smoking. He was ducking his head in the corner smoking before him.
I know. It's Snoop Dogg. I mean, come on.
You got Snoop Dogg, Snoop Lion. It was all of them on stage.
Yeah.
And then what sweets me is, you know what I mean? I remember back last season before we got off air, we were just touching on Lizzo and, just how she was dealing with just so much the hate train.
Backlash,
right? With her weight, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then you turn on social media today and now people are using that same hate train for 50 Cent.
Right.
And I'm like, really? This is what we're doing now?
I have mixed feelings about that just because 50 is such a troll. So I feel like when you are the troll of the greatest of all trolls that there are, you open yourself up to any and all criticism.
All the trollery.
I don't take part in any of it. So I don't think it's okay for there to be a double standard. If we say don't body shame anyone, right? It's not nice. Okay. 50, however, does so much that whatever you get is kind of it's kind of karma. I don't think it affects him in any way. I think he does to get
tough skin
promotion, and you gotta have tough. You can't be a troll and not have tough skin.
You can't be a gangster rapper and not have tough skin. Tough skin.
Right.
But in 2022, two things could be true. There's a lot of rappers out here getting hurt from that, but I like the Super Bowl for what it stood for. You know what I mean? Right. But I definitely seen, like, as far as performances, I felt like I've seen, a little bit more cohesive.
You were a little underwhelmed.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like Mary J. Blige did her thing, you know what I'm saying? She was bringing just her energy and glowing on there, just performing. And that was a joy to watch. 50 hanging from a
Mary's ceiling. Always going to do the...
Yeah, I was waiting for...
You know what I'm saying? A turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
So just seeing that and seeing them on that platform, man, I'm here for it. Hip-hop has come a long way to where we're on a Super Bowl VPR. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, You
That
can't. You
that
can't
to
take that
me
away.
is a big deal. You know what I mean? And seeing them all up together, that's a legendary group of people to gather for sure. But there's always so much of this behind
Yo,
everything.
yeah, like I was
My
hearing the
interest,
game.
my
The game
interest
was
in
mad.
Wednesday, it's just not there. I'm
Look at
like,
that.
thank you so much.
People in LA was just like, yo, the game should have been up there, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, wait
Why?
a second.
And I love the game. Don't get me
Mhm.
twisted, but like,
Yeah. My
why?
thing
That
is,
doesn't even match.
for me, in my
Okay.
personal opinion, the game's best album was written by 50. That first album, you know what I'm saying? So you could hear 50's ad libs if you really just listen to what the game was saying. Because
Right.
the album came right after he dropped, it wasn't Get Rich or Die Trying, it was another one. Massacre. It came right after that, and the energy was just the same. So when people were sitting there in LA saying, hey, the game should be on the Super Bowl, I'm like, bro, wait. If it would not be no game, no offense, if it wasn't for 50 and G when it put in.
But it's because he said it. You know what I mean? So because he said it, then people started saying it's not like you can't do that.
You can't just throw yourself in
You can't say
conversation for them.
I should be that like that's first of all that's narcissistic, right? Like how do you think that you should have that privilege? That honor should be granted to you. It's not something that you
Kendrick Lamar was there.
Deserve, right?
You know what I mean? Like, and for what Game has done for LA, it's like, it's not, for me, it's not as big as what Nipsey Hussle has done, but there's definitely levels to it. But Snoop Dogg is the epitome of what LA is, man. You know what I mean? Years of being on top of the charts and making LA look good without any scandal.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think if Nipsey was still alive, that he would have been on that stage?
Oh, yeah.
I would hope so.
I would hope so, because his music, I don't know if it will translate so well to the Super Bowl, but he definitely has some hits where it's like,
yeah, and he's got like non-gang hits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Snoop Dogg wore a whole Crip flag. They said he can't flag. He wore the flag.
He wore it. Him and his wife.
I don't even know his wife did that.
You find a way around it, right?
Yo, and for me, I watched all of that I can't believe I'm sitting there watching the Super Bowl just waiting for halftime, and then I'm like, all right, I'm good. Because after it came on, I'm like, it's not my two teams, Qiana. You know what I mean?
Right. So did you watch it just for the halftime show?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
I'm getting older, man.
I'm not even gonna watch the game. I just want to.
We have so much things that try to take our time now, so many devices, you know what I mean, with our phones, and this is what's going on in all our personal lives. I can't just spend so much time just absorbing too much content. You know, I'm here for it. Shout out to the NFL for doing what they're doing. They definitely put up last year, though. Don't think we forgot. We ain't forget, NFL. No. We get close to the mic. We ain't forget.
Right.
But they definitely did a good job.
Speaking of we ain't forget, do you think that the lineup was supposed to be kind of like almost like a quiet apology?
Yo, VPR, I'm glad Qiana's hitting the nail right on the head. Like, it's just, after last year with the whole Kaepernick situation, this is, I would say, a great way to wash people's minds of that. You know what I mean? You put Kendrick Lamar, and I forgot about him even being there. You know what I mean? His performance is great, too. I'd rather just a Kendrick Lamar set because he has many songs. You know what I mean? But yeah, this is one way to show us we matter, they would say. All right.
Right. Quiet. It's always like a little, it's like if we all went and robbed a bank, right? There were a group of us, 5
hypothetically speaking.
Hypothetically speaking. Theoretically speaking, because I don't encourage any of that. But let's just rock with me, right?
All right.
So we're putting it all together, right? And it's like, okay, you and me, we're pretty much doing everything. You know what I mean? We're running in the bank. We're watching. We're clocking the safe.
It's like money heist right now.
Heist, right?
Got you.
The other 3 guys are just providing,
emotional support.
Emotional support. Okay?
You can do it.
And we do everything, right? And
yeah.
It gets accomplished. We get like $20 million. And they give us each $500.
That is the Super Bowl.
That's the Super Bowl.
That is it. Qiana, thank you for saying that.
That's how we feel about that Super Bowl apology.
VPR, y'all seen what she just did there. I was getting ready for a big story, and then when she just capped it off like that, I'm like, wait.
The end.
So you're telling me I'm about to perform for you, and in front of all these millions of people, and you're charging $10,000 per seat, $14,000 per seat per person. That's what it was going for at the Super Bowl. I checked.
And let's not talk about the ads.
Oh my, 2.6
Millions
million
and
for
millions of
30-second ads. Let's get into it, man.
Yep.
Because the artist is not seeing any of that. Yeah, they're gonna get those streams. It's gonna come back. Mary J. Blige is gonna Real Love is gonna top the charts for
How about putting that money back into some educational programs for people of color, into communities that are at risk because they're underprivileged, right? The key terms that we like to use, because education is really poor in those communities. How about pouring NFL, right? Pouring into the communities that you've disregarded.
Pouring into the communities that you come and sign these kids from anyway, that you're attending their high school, drafting them and scouting them.
Say it again, partner.
So with that coming in, it's just like you look at where the stadium was for the Super Bowl. It's right in the hood, right in Inglewood. Like
homeless everywhere.
You get what I'm saying? It is right in the hood. Just like the Barclays, don't get a full VPR. It is right in the hood.
And if you know New York, right, and you know the Barclays, you know that if you walk 8 or 9 blocks, you're in a whole different area.
you watch big buildings.
Go wandering and get lost, tourists.
Seriously, and that's the thing. But you have to look at how they're dropping it in these neighborhoods, knowing what's going on around it. But they're like, oh, we're not going to help these neighborhoods.
We're going to come and extract the talent, use the talent as much as we possibly can, make as much money as we possibly can, and beat up their body, and then, get rid of them around 35-ish.
Yeah. And then by the time they get rid of them, at least if they're in sports, they're probably going to be a little bit addicted to drugs, because if you're in the NFL, you're getting banged up every week. Those team doctors are giving you drugs to get you by. And the minute you say, yo, I'm hurt a little bit and I feel like I can't play it, they're going to cut you. You lose your money. You lose everything else. And they don't care. And they're going to look at you weird.
And if you haven't, like the Shaqs and the LeBrons, if you haven't
created the business
that business plan, that business mind, and know how to venture outside and sustain yourself, because millions of dollars looks great, but you got to pay millions of dollars of taxes. Okay, you're going to live and maintain a certain lifestyle. You're paying certain staff around you. If you're married and have a family, you're giving them a whole lifestyle, which means you also have a staff for them. You're flying on private planes. All of this costs money. What are you spending each month? You have to make sure you have a good accountant that's taking care of that money, that you're investing, right? If you don't know any of those things, you're blowing through money and going broke. And that's why a lot of, players from the NFL, boxers, when we spoke with Shannon Briggs, particularly, the boxing game, especially because it's all a cash game, literally, it's a cash game. So many of those boxers wind up going homeless afterwards, like run through the money and then it's over.
It's like it even translates to now. Look at how Jake Paul and his brother, 2 non-boxers, have came into that community and made more than legacy acts.
Crazy.
It's funny that a person that doesn't box or only box for a year can sit down and box Mayweather and Mike Tyson, yet alone people that have been fighting or training their whole life to have opportunities like that.
The boxing game is a whole new world now. It's not the boxing game from the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah, it's less about, all right, I'm going to be the strongest guy in the ring. It's about who's going to sell the most, and I get it. We're here.
Wrestling. You know what I mean? It's a show. It's a lot of flair.
Speaking about that, just a flair. Guys, I'm just going to touch up on it. Mayor Eric Adams, he did meet with the drill community.
Okay.
And he's definitely trying to figure out and work initiative to get these young men to put down these guns. But I'm being honest with you, VPR. You know what I mean? DJs can say they're not going to play it. Parents can say they're not going to play it. But when that phone turn on and TikTok turn on, it don't matter what you say, it's not going to play.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So for me,
and to go further, because I am a parent, right? You can't now, if you got a 15 or 16-year-old and they've been listening to that for the last few years, you now can't take it away because you're like, well, this is bad now. If you haven't been monitoring, and not even monitoring, but raising them a certain way so that they're not even attracted to that music, their attraction doesn't go there. It's like, whoa, that's a little dark.
You see, and that's the thing too. They 15, 14 by the time they already in gangs by that age. You know what I'm saying? Before they even start rapping. they're already in the gang.
Right. So if
And
that's
that's,
where they're at already.
yeah, because they're from certain neighborhoods. You wake up every day, you walk outside. You know what I mean? You're seeing this dude that's from here. You dap him up, but guess what? You know what I mean? That comes with its cost of being down. Shout out to Team Money for tuning in, man. We had a blast last night, man. It
We
was
had so
amazing.
much fun. Thank you for having us, T.
And so just on that drill, I don't see it stopping, Kiana. I don't. Right now, that is the sound of New York. And the thing is with hip hop, the more you try to push something out and take it off the radio or take it off and do whatever you have to do,
Yeah.
the more people are going to gravitate to it because that's what hip hop is based off of. You don't like it? Cool. We love it.
I think the
This is
only way to
authentic.
prevent this at this point is to be able to commercially accept more positive messages. And we know that there's so many musicians with positive messages. It's insane to me because the media creates and perpetuates these issues,
Mhm.
and then they take it back to like the kids and the streets and the guns and the but you fed that message because it
For
sells. You fed
years.
the message over and over until too many are getting killed now. Okay, let's slow it down, and now let's spread a message of
Well,
no guns, and put the guns down.
I was saying, so we have to watch how hip hop is now like elevated and changed over the years. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We're now in like 2015, like the little pumps that ooh, no, 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 ooh. You know what I'm saying? Remember when that came out? Like Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci.
Yep.
Even though you ain't like it, you were hearing it. You're like, what the hell's a Gucci gang?
Right.
Now we look back and we don't even play a Gucci gang. And I was just, and so I was watching that, right? So I went to YouTube. I looked at Little Pump, and I'm like, this is a man that has like over 4 million, 5 million people subscribers. And when he posts something, it always hits the millions. But now when he releases his music, it's like 100,000. While these drill artists now are dropping weekly and they're getting 400, 600,000. And then I asked myself, why VPR? Like, why, what was going on? People are gravitating more towards the real. Call it what you want. The reason why you like your favorite rapper is because you partly believe that he's doing somewhat of the things that he's saying in some fashion or form. You get what I mean? So why would I listen to someone yelling out Gucci gang, pop a pill, pop a pill, pop a pill, pop a pill, when I have somebody that probably lives in my neighborhood, looks like me, and he's saying what my struggle is? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's negative, but people gravitate towards the real, the Pooh Shiesties, the Gucci Mans, the stuff like that. The cool guy rap, there's a place for it. Mm-hmm. They gravitate towards that negativity because it has a pull on hip hop.
It does, and unfortunately, that real does not have to be the reality. It does not have to. You do not have to become a product of your environment. You don't have to. It's actually a choice, a conscious choice. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, these kids are being pulled to make that conscious choice toward the negative side.
But can you blame them? 100,000, they can't help it.
I can't. I blame the system that continues to feed this and doesn't offer anything different than
outreach.
Where are our programs for our children? So this is Mayor Eric Adams. I beseech you to create these programs, these after-school programs. Dr. Romulus Renaud, I would love to introduce you to him because he's created a whole metaverse program to be able to.
Yes, that's what we're getting into.
You know, we met him at Microsoft, mm-hmm. Not just teenagers, but 9-year-olds, young 9-year-olds, because what we have to do now, we have to try to get these kids back, but we have to really institute some prevention. Like you said, they're in gangs by 13, 14. It's harder to pull somebody out of a gang than it is to prevent someone from going into a gang, because at 9 years old, they see a path ahead of themselves in life that's positive. And they say, wow, I got a lot of craziness around me, but this is what I'm focused on. Because that's what the basketball players do, right? They have that environment, but they're like, this is what I'm focused on. Being the best basketball player, being the best football player, being the best boxer. It doesn't have to just be that, right? You don't either have to be slinging rock or have a wicked gun jump shot, like Biggie said. There's other ways to get out, and we can use our brain, but we need these things to feed into our children the same way that the negativity is being fed. But I see that our guest is here. So please introduce him for us, partner. I don't even want to hold him up because we definitely want to get him up here.
Yes, guys, we got carried away with the talk. But right now, y'all like with DJ FMI, and we are live here on VPR Radio with the one and only Jay Bliss. How are you doing? How you doing? Let's come up here, man.
Good, bro. What's good, man? What's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
We are great. Thank you for joining us, Jay. How are you?
I'm good, man. I appreciate y'all having me on. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
And I must say, I'm going to start by just saying VPR, I love that he has the DMX cover art in the back. Explain that right now, Jay Bliss. Why do you have that cover art? What does DMX mean to you? I mean, at least
that was one of my first hip hop albums. That and Hard Knock Life Volume 2, Jay-Z. You feel me? My first two albums that I got as a kid.
Wow.
The vinyl on the wall as inspiration. This is my like studio where I put in work and shit.
I love it.
VPR, I love it because when Qiana, I ask artists, what they listen to and like the artists and that they grew up with, and I hear so much malarkey and different things. I hear some people say Soldier Boy, NBA Youngboy, and I can't knock them. Different generations. So
right.
Hearing Jay-Z and DMX, I'm like, this is a great way to start.
Right? He said malarkey. I'm dying.
There's a lot of that out here. So Jay Bliss, tell me a little bit about yourself, your journey, because I know we have people here tuning in on the live stream that are familiar with your music and they definitely want to hear some of your experience.
Yes, sir. I don't know, man. Since a kid, I always fell in love with hip hop. It's always been like my outlet. You know what I mean? Like from walking to school with like a little CD player Walkman. You know what I mean? Like
where you grew up at? You had CD player and a Walkman. Where you grew up at?
Yeah, I had to put that shit in the inside of the pocket. You feel me? On the jacket. You know what I'm saying? That shit was mad big, but if you put it in the jacket, it'll look like you got nothing. So
with the headphones that go over your ear with the little foam that used to fall off.
Hell yeah, all that shit. You know what I mean? But like, I love hip hop so much. You feel me? Like I grew up like at the very tail end of like the CDs and the tapes. You feel me? Like the radio still had the little cassette. So if I wanted to hear that new like Lil Wayne shit, I'd have to go and like record it on Hot 97 at a certain time so I could replay it the next day in school and shit. It was the very end of it.
Pause mixtapes. Yes, indeed.
I had to do all that. You know what I mean? But like I remember doing all that shit. You know what I mean? It was dope growing up in that era. You know what I mean? It was pretty cool. Like, I mean, I was way too young to be listening to any of that kind of music. Right. You feel me? Like, but it was
we all were.
That shit raised me, you know what I mean? And then as I got older, I was able to like relate to the music more. And I'm like, yo, that was dope. That's crazy. And now as an artist, I look back at like, for example, DMX's first album, and I'm like, okay, that's what he was doing. That's what he was trying to get out. Like, this was his moment to like really show the world what he's about. And so I'm hearing these tracks, Reasonable Doubt, all these like first albums, and it's like inspiration. I'm like, shit, you know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't really like look at like interviews of like Jay-Z now because that's not the level that I'm at. I'm at the beginning of the level. You know what I mean? I'm at the beginning of my artist level. So I'm like, I'm gonna go back to everybody else's beginnings and see where they were at, where their heads were at, and where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So it's
I love that. I love that because I think that at the beginning of everyone's career, and this isn't anything, right? Your hunger is there. Your hunger is like you want it so badly, and whatever your situations are, you're going to talk about that and you're going to use that, as a catalyst and as motivation to get you to the next level. How old were you when you decided to actually start making music of your own?
It always started with poetry in high school, and then throughout the years I tried, but like I said, it was that like weird part where like technology was kind of like starting to come in and it was more accessible. You know what I mean? Like now you could just you could record a song off your phone, like just talk into it, put a beat and put that out, and that should be crazy.
Right.
But this is like right when they were like, all right, you know what I mean? I could kind of finance a little laptop, put a little program. I could bootleg the program and try to do the shit myself. So it kind of gives you that like ability to cut out the middleman, to not pay so much and overpay. You know, people take advantage in this industry. They're like, oh yeah, bro, I'll put you on. I got you. Just give me like $60 an hour. I'll show you how to do this for like 3 hours a day. And it's like, I'm paying $500 and I ain't learned shit.
Right. Because they don't even know it.
So you would say you spent some of your career learning how to engineer and do other side hustles too, just to keep yourself on top of everything.
Oh yeah, of course, man. It's a like this whole thing is a business, bro. It's a lot of money that you got to invest into yourself, and
Say
of
it
course,
again.
I'm telling you, if you don't got the money to like back it, to back what it is that you want to do, then you're really not gonna get that far. Cause ain't nobody gonna be like, hey, Jay Bliss, here's $3,000. I kind of like that one song you did, bro. Invest in whatever you want. Like, nah, bro.
Right.
Like after I invested $35,000, like, oh my god, I love what you did. Here's 3,000.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or
Like,
actually, what usually happens is after you've invested that 35,000, here comes a real serious investor. Like, here's 300,000.
right.
Help you and get you a tour.
Right. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But I'd like one thing I always kept to heart is like, if you don't take yourself serious, who's gonna take you serious? Why would I take you serious if you don't take yourself serious? If you don't want to invest this much money to yourself, so would I?
Exactly.
He's dropping facts. Shout out to
I mean?
all the artists that are actually tuning in and listen to what this man is saying, because just last night I had a showcase that I was doing in New York City.
Yeah.
And an artist got up there and forgot his lyrics. And when that happens to me and they're looking at me like I'm doing, so I'm checking the mic to sing, is your vocal dropping out? Like I'm doing what I got to do.
My voice is dropping out, sir.
And then when I see you put down the mic, you hold it to your chest and you look around and you don't know your record, it's just like,
not to look around.
So I bring that up to ask you, Jay Bliss, what has been one of the hardest, scariest moments you've had on stage? Because I know you perform a lot. So what's been your hardest moment, or when has been your scariest moment to perform for a big crowd?
That's happened to me a few times. I forgot the lyrics, but the main reason is because it's like, let's say it's like a big deal. You feel me? Like DJ Drewski's gonna be there, somebody big, and I'm like, yo, this is my one chance. So I just wrote this song 2 days ago. I gotta come out with this crazy shit because I know he's gonna fuck with it. And boom, I forget like the last 10 seconds of this shit, and it kind of fucks it up a little bit, but it's just all part of a learning experience. You feel me? Like now I know that you can't just go in there like, oh, I know my song, I'm gonna go and do it. No, motherfucker, you gotta know your song. You gotta know your gestures. You gotta know what point to breathe. You gotta know how to say it. You gotta practice that shit a million times. You gotta be able to know it so well that now you can look people in their eyes and really spit that shit like.
And that's when they feel it.
And the extra emphasis that comes with it, you know what I mean? So it's like that took a lot of like failures to really learn that, because nobody learns that shit off rip. That shit is hard.
That's true. And so let me ask you a question. When that happened, what did you do? Did you stop around?
I forgot what I was going crazy because it was like because my style was half English, half Spanish.
Okay.
I'm gonna get into that VPR. VPR, we're definitely gonna get into that because I have so many questions about that. But I'm gonna let you finish, man.
But I think the track that I was doing was straight English because I wanted to showcase like, look, I really got bars. Like it's not just like, oh, he raps kind of Spanish, that's kind of cool. He could rap in English too, that's nice. Like no, I will fucking spit some shit in English and I'll spit some shit in Spanish. But in this case, I was like, nah, I'm just spitting straight English on this, and I was going crazy. And what fucked me up was that sometimes I do drops on my tracks. I do like little drops and shit. So it's like the music cuts out and I'm spitting some crazy shit. But at that drop, I kind of fucked it up. And I was like, damn, y'all getting me hyped. Come on, yo, next track. Let's do this shit. Let's get it. Blah, blah, blah. Like I just carried on because I can't stop right there.
Right.
I got way too many.
Why I asked. Because in those moments, you got to roll with it. You got to keep going. You know what I mean? And you got to segue out of it. Like, the stop and look around becomes a wah, wah, wah. What happened when Homegirl fell on the runway yesterday?
Yes,
right. Kept going, and we were all like, "Yes, honey."
And we clapped. I've never heard something hit the ground that hard yet. VPR.
I know. Trust me.
It was crazy.
That hurt.
I was recording a drop VPR just saw a vlog so we can have content, and all I hear on the runway is "ka ka ka," and I'm hearing everybody laughing. I'm
everyone gasped. That was the quietest.
So, Jay Bliss, as we sit here, what's your creative process like when you hit the studio? Let me narrow it down. What's your 3 things that you need in the studio with you when you walk in?
I was about to say, you know your question, partner. You got to ask it.
So it depends really what kind of mood I'm in. You feel me? Like I really like for me to just walk into a studio and just put in work. Like I could do it. Like let's say I got like 2 artists that want to work with me and they want to feature. Like I could definitely get in the zone. Like go handle what I gotta handle. Really get myself in that zone. Because it's easy at that point. They already dictated what the chorus is. They dictated what the song is about. all I gotta do is really kind of catch that vibe and just give my little 16 bar spin. I could do that shit quick. It gets harder when I'm like, all right, now I gotta create this song. What is it about? What's the substance? What's the context? Like, what's it about? And then I gotta fucking put some bars. I gotta put some metaphors, some double entendres, and then I gotta do it in English and Spanish.
VPR, you see what he's doing. He's actually taking time out. He's not just rapping, put on a beat, let me freestyle and see what comes out of it. He's actually sitting there paying attention to his craft. Let me put some metaphors for the people I want to hear that. Let me put some bars for the people I want to hear that.
Okay.
Bro, it's a whole structure, but like, once again, it took me years to develop that. You feel me? It was always like very simple, but now what I do is like I fill out the beat. So it's like I probably go through like maybe 35 beats before I find one that I really like, and then what I do is I keep that one beat, and I might not be in the mood for that beat, but I know that beat is a hit.
And what producers do you work with also? Because I know you got some like, so I would say reggaeton type beats, and then you'll have some hip hop beats. So what producers do you work with? So I need to give them some.
It just really depends on the vibe that I'm in, bro, on the mood that I'm in. You feel me? Like the Cali vibes that I do the songs with. The Cali vibe has the high bass. You got saxophones, guitars, like a lot of pianos. It's very like instrumental heavy. Like it's fucking dope. I love it. So that's more of like emotional when I'm trying to bring out like, you know, like whatever I'm trying to talk about. But as far as party tracks, I get the reggaeton shit. You know what I mean? Like the party shit. I just gotta fill out the vibe. I don't really care who the producer is, because you'll be surprised by like a shitty producer that just has that one beat that's gonna change everything. You never know who's
that one beat.
It be that one beat. So it's like I always try to like give it a chance, and it's so boring like going through their fucking page and hearing 37 of their beats, and I gotta give it at least a minute for each song. That's 37 minutes, and I might find one. You know what I mean? So it's like days that I'm not recording, I'm going through 150 beats to prepare me for the next time I feel like I'm writing. You know what I mean? For the next time I'm like, all right, I'm in the zone. Today I want to write. You know what I'm saying?
VPR, where it's just like people forget about the artistry. You know what I mean? You have to sit there and dissect these beats, because every record that he does is an investment. You know what I mean?
Facts.
That comes with the music video. That comes with the feature if there's one. That comes with the tree. So
that
you know
the marketing behind the song, the push.
That comes for the write-up.
Listen to it.
It's a lot. Each song is at least like, think about it, right? Studio's what, 60, 70, 80 hours, depends where you go. Right. I need at least 2 or 3 hours to get it right, to knock it out. I gotta mix and master that bitch still. That's already $600 in. And we haven't even like did a cover art. We haven't even a video. I haven't even got an outfit for the video. Each video needs at least 3 outfits. Yeah. At the very least, to keep it visually stimulating. Yeah. You feel me? Otherwise, it's like, oh, this whole shit is the same thing. He's just in front of the building with the same outfit, same shit.
Say it again.
I'm so sorry. It's artists like you that make it, you know, that make it great, for the simple fact that you're unsigned and you're treating yourself like you're on a major label. You're budgeting.
He's a business and he's a brand. It shows, right?
I appreciate y'all. Nah, man, I have to, because it's like little things like that are what's gonna separate me. You feel me? Because right now we're like the music is in a place where it's like super like drill heavy out here in New York.
I was gonna ask you about that. Yeah. How are you finding your way around that?
Every area has their own section that they fuck with heavy, and I'm just like, I'm doing my own thing, and it's a little bit different. You know what I mean? So it's like, for me to try to be consistent in the lane that I'm paving, that shit is hard as fuck, because nobody's gonna fuck with you until you're there.
Until the masses push you.
This shit is fire, but it's like, dude, I've been out here struggling all these fucking years trying to tell y'all, look at this shit. This fucking
check out VPR. Check out his YouTube. You will find video after video, high quality, interview after interview. This man makes sure he gets around and does his media run. Talk to me about what you did in California. I seen you was out there running around, shooting videos. I seen you working with a few artists, notable ones also. I want to let you introduce them.
Yeah. My first time stepping foot in California was last March. Before that, I never went to California. You feel me? But I'm like,
for business?
Huh?
You stepping out there for business?
Nah, I was like, since out here, like I said, it's super drill heavy, and my sound is a little bit different. Out there in California, I kind of found like a pocket where they appreciate the Spanish sound. They're like, yo, that shit's Spanish. That shit is fire. Like, we get that. We fuck with that. So I'm like, all right, let me see if I could get like a dope Cali feature and put that dope Cali feature with me. I'll pay whatever price it is. As long as I get them to like want to fuck with it, I'm fucking lit. Because no matter what, even if you think I'm shitty and I'm trash, you're gonna fuck with that feature.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you already fuck with them. So it's like I go after features that I know have like a fan base that they're building up. People that are being consistent, just like I am. You feel me? Like I'm kind of like doing A&R work. You know what I mean? Kind of like scoping them out.
You are.
Big.
Yeah, he really is. I'm sitting there.
That's exactly what you're doing.
That's
and I love the fact
so
that you ventured out, because we talk about this all the time, right? You don't usually get the support right around you. You have to go to other states. You have to go to other countries where they don't know anything about you. There's no bias. You know, they're not like, yo, he's dope, but I don't, you know, I'm jealous, so I'm not going to buy his music because they don't know anything about you. So that was very smart, you know, and proactive on your part to do.
That shit was expensive as fuck too.
I know.
That shit was. He was waiting for.
That shit was hard. Just paying the feature alone, and then mind you, I gotta get a flight, Airbnb, pay for the video. I had to bring the video from New York to California because I didn't know no videographers over there. So I found the videographer that was willing to work with me. I was like, bro, let's go out there. We shoot 3 videos. I'll pay you every week until I pay the whole shit off. He was willing to do it. I was like, fuck it, because that gives me more time instead of going to Cali. Hey, bro, how much is the video? 800. All right, cool. I have 100 ready now. Like, nah, I'm financing that.
Right.
It makes sense if I'm going to be working with you for a long period of time. Can we come on a payment?
Right.
You know, building longevity.
Artists, take heed to this. You know, man, this is VPR Thursday. Jay Bliss is really dropping some gems on how to navigate this industry, especially being an independent artist. Right. You know what I mean? We turn on Instagram every day and we see all these signed artists complaining about their deals. And I'm always telling people, do not sign before you have leverage.
Right.
Need leverage. The whole point of Jay Bliss running around and having these videos and having all of this big body of work is to show that, hey, I have leverage. I know what I'm doing. You're not coming to sign me for pennies on the dollar.
Right. I'm just like building up a whole resume. You know what I mean? And then just by me doing all these different features, because I'm doing all different features with different kind of artists, and not all the same.
Let me hear some of those features though. Let me hear some of the artists that you've worked with, so at least you know people listening.
My first one was Bella the Rapper. Then I worked with Drea. She's another artist that's dope. I worked with Yellow Hill. That's an artist from out there. There's a bunch of other artists that I'm like, you know, I got songs with that haven't come out yet. I got a bunch of artists on the album, but I'm starting to work with a lot of artists from out here because they see the work. They see how I'm putting in work. You feel me? It kind of like when you go out and venture off and you really invest and people fuck with you. Like, first of all, it's easier for me in Cali because they're like, oh shit, he from New York. Nobody comes from New York. Absolutely nobody.
You know why we don't come from New York? New York, LA scary, bro.
That's what they say. They're like, yo,
LA scary, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, and California's fucking dangerous, bro. Like, New York is dangerous, but California's dangerous too, bro. That shit is.
I don't wear hats in Cali. I do not wear hats in Cali. I'm gonna get a haircut and listen. I can't wear hats. I'm good.
Nah.
Hats mean
not all that red.
Got all that dead on. That's what they're gonna say.
I don't wear no red, no blue. Like, I already learned the rules and shit, but it's like I also catch on very quick. You feel me? Like, you could always tell by like body language and shit, like what's what. It's like
I'm gonna ask you about that. How do you deal with just certain kind of rappers politicking on the record? Because you know what I mean. A lot of rappers now have ties to certain organizations, but do you let that affect
organizations? I love it. It's such a diplomatic.
I'm just very careful with it. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of like obviously if two people are on opposing sides and they don't fuck with each other, I'm not gonna have them both like, oh, I dropped a video with this person, I dropped a video with that person. It's like a whole thing, because it's like it's not that you gotta choose a side, but you gotta be very careful like how you step. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at who that person follows, look at who they don't follow, look at this, look at that, look at all that shit. Like, I gotta make sure I'm on point with all that, because it's an investment that I'm making. And it's not $100, $200. We're talking 2, 3, 4, 5 G's just on a video with the song and everything. After paying the feature, after paying all that shit, that's mad bread.
People don't get it that.
I don't got a corporate job, bro. I'm out here working fucking 3 or 4 regular jobs just to pay this shit. I'm not out here like, it's crazy, because it's like,
we respect it because you believe in yourself.
Yeah, of course.
Invest in your future. I love it.
Yeah.
You are the epitome of like an independent artist that is getting it and will fucking max out. You understand what I'm saying? Because you are putting your all and your effort. I'm loving it. I'm loving the energy.
I'm sitting here all smiles because I personally just see how much you run around. And before I give VPR any opportunity to reach out to an artist, I wanted to reach out to you because I'm just like, yo, you deserve a platform where the viewers will go and check out your music and people will go and fall in love with it. So my question is to you, how do you break up your segment with your Spanish part of your rapping? Because I gotta ask, and your English part, because when you go off and you start doing that, I'm like, how do you do that?
It's kind of like the transition, right? The transition is the hardest part, right? So that's the secret. Let me see if I can play something for you real quick. Hold on. My bad. I got my shit right here.
VPR, I'm all about this.
Feeling. What does that say?
Oh, that's fun.
Right? Look
that shit says sky's the limit.
I fucking.
Oh, what?
It.
We got to get VPR on the ceiling, Qiana.
I'm telling you. And I thought my purple ceiling was dope, but now I'm like,
that is fire.
Nah, I appreciate it. That whole shit is black light too. That shit crazy.
Wow.
Guys, make sure you and follow the one and only Jay Bliss and Qianathegoddess and DJ FMI VPR Radios. We are here every Thursday. I just want to make sure I say that for you guys because we love what we do here. And when we have unsigned artists that are actually doing great work and especially running around and on their own budget.
Their asses off, yes.
Let me see. I think I got one right here. Let me see if I can play this. I'm playing y'all something off the album nobody really heard. All right, so pretty much growing up, Mobb Deep was my shit, my favorite shit. Like OD, my favorite. Quiet Storm was my favorite. So I'm like, Bella the rapper kind of has that style, that Lil Kim like aggressiveness. She's young, you feel me? She's spitting them bars, spitting that shit. So I'm like, I'm gonna redo like a Quiet Storm kind of mix. Okay. I'm gonna spit my Spanish shit, a little bit of English. But here's the thing: when I remade the beat, I was with a producer that worked with Death Row, one of Suge Knight's favorite producers.
Okay.
That shit was bread, but it was worth it because it got me in the door.
Yeah.
You feel me? So now I'm rubbing shoulders. Now I'm in the same studio with homie that was mixing Tupac's vocals right after he passed away, and I'm hearing Tupac stories. I'm hearing Suge Knight stories. I'm hearing like stories that you won't hear on YouTube. I'm hearing I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like some crazy shit because now it's like because I paid whatever price it is, you feel me? And I wasn't trying to be on some like dickhead shit. Like, nah, bro, I'll give you this much. I'll give you that much. It's like, oh, that's the price. All right, give me a few. I'll get it together and I'll pay it. You feel me? Just give me some time. Like, people fuck with you. They respect that because you respect them.
That's right.
So, long story short, I'm remaking this Quiet Storm shit. I'm calling it Silent Storm with Bella the Rapper, me and her. And that shit is on the album. This shit is crazy. Love it. It's like if I'm gonna remake something like that, it got to be with somebody that was a part of that era, somebody that was there, somebody that saw it, somebody that knows
the story.
We remade this shit from scratch.
Yes.
From fucking scratch. So he took the bass line from White Lines. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because that's the original bass line for the Mobb Deep shit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I play this
only
shit
on VPR Radio.
So the producer got on, you know what I mean, in the very beginning, and then we just go in.
What we gonna do right here is go back, way back. Yeah, we're coming with the Quiet Storm. It's that real shit. Soy directo, tiran indirecto, mis balas rompen hueso, mis balas son indirectos, no te respeto, mis panas son violentos, mis panas son traviesos, matan por ingreso, hacemos todos los días, botella vacía, tenía que matarme por las cosas que quería, no tengo energía, reparto la sandía, todos estos juguetes no requieren batería.
You feel me? I'm gonna show you.
VPR. I love
to hear that transition. Why you stop?
Hold on, I'm gonna show you right now because right now it's heavy Spanish on this track, and I did that on purpose because it's like in English we already got Quiet Storm, bro, and I'm not like that's Prodigy and Havoc, that's Lil Kim, those are classics, and I'm not trying to redo a classic and like, yo, nah, my shit is better, let's take that out. Like, nah, bro, this is paying tribute. And it's like in South America and all these other places, they heard the beat, but they never heard the context. You feel me? This is that like that street hood shit, that shit that they was spitting, but in Spanish. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
And I love that now, like hip hop has it has a community where people can rap Spanish. It's Bad Bunnies, you know what I'm saying? And I consider them hip hop. To me,
Absolutely.
Just like, you know what I mean? They're still spitting. So when I'm hearing you spitting in that flow, I'm like, oh, nah. I can only, I'm like, I'm translate.
It sounds lit.
I love that because it's the artists that make me want to sit there and go and look up their lyrics and then translate it. And I want to do that because I want to see what they're saying. You know what I mean? And I do that for Bad Bunny, so there's no reason I'm going to do it for Jay Bliss. You know what I mean?
Nah, dude. Like when I spit in Spanish, I make sure the pen is crazy. Like I'm not just rhyming like ball with fall and tall. Like I'm
right.
Like I'm saying some fucking shit. Like the metaphors, the bars are crazy.
I can't wait.
Because I feel like in Spanish, nobody really be spitting bars like that because that's like an American hip hop thing. That's where it originated from.
Right.
You feel me? Like them big pump bars, like, oh shit, what the fuck he just said? That shit is crazy. Like that, like with the swiftness, and I just said some shit. That shit is so hard to come by.
Yeah.
So, but this is the transition right here.
Okay.
Big whip shorty from the projects. I'm about to green like a motherfucking diet. Really with the kids, I don't really wanna cry it. Really with the bitch, cause I know she really like how I've been grinding. Got some little money be removing. And I got some bitches that the money be improving. Big blunt, big smoke, got the speakers booming. I provide the shit that I really be consuming. It ain't about the money, I don't really know me. With my life in the streets, to do it for free. Get it wholesale for cheap, and I double the breeze. Shit, I'm mob when I'm deep, and my guns ain't the streets.
Yo, this is what I'm talking about. I hear these are the records you need to send to me so I can spin at my club events. These are the records I need to. New York City has a different sound, and this is what I need to hear as a DJ.
And then Bella comes on. And then Bella comes on. This shit is crazy.
You gotta hear her. Keep
I'm trying to make it at the top. The only one they see up. He coming down from Brooklyn. I told him we should meet up. Nothing for the free. I need dinero, so I re-up. I blew it on investment so I can buy a Nina. Fumando en calor, lo compro con el valor. You bitches ain't the shit. Your raps are making me feel bored. I don't trust nobody. Lo que mata es amor. Taking in your mind and I'ma take like 5 of yours. Working quiero ser, de los siempre quieren ser. He took a bad loss because he chose to make a stand. The realest you can have, but choose to pick the fake again. I walk up in the section I've been flying since the kid.
Yeah.
Fire, bro.
I definitely got to make sure I follow her because that she was spitting.
Yo, she was shit. So like, right before I left Cali, I was there in December. I shot a video for that video. Like we shot that video. Nice. We used the fucking tunnel that they use, like P. Diddy and Mace use, like that white tunnel shit.
Yeah.
We did the stage where the camera's looking above the, like, we're on top of the glass and the motherfucker.
Okay. Oh, that's so dope.
Fire.
I kept the 2000s video vibe, you know what I mean? To like keep
when is that dropping?
That's gonna be my next single, honestly. I feel like in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I just got to get the rollout right. Okay. I'm just trying to finalize the album because I already dropped maybe like 2 or 3 singles that are on the album, but it's just building up that momentum. You feel me? So I feel like every track on this album's a hit. Like it really is a fucking hit because I make sure, like it's a lot of work, it's a lot of bread, but it's worth it. You know what I mean? So it's like I feel like since it's my first album, I gotta really give it something that, you know what I mean, that's gonna be there forever. Something I'll be proud of. Something is that takes time, and this shit took a lot of time. You know what I mean?
You can hear the time and the passion.
Hell yeah.
And it's a joy just to hear how much passion that you're putting into the project.
Yes.
Looking at the locations, you're thinking about location, you're thinking about the samples, you're thinking about, all right, they did this, I'm going to do this. It's definitely something that I want to make sure I go check out because I'm like, if someone's putting this much work into it, this seems like it's your life work. So I know it's going to be spectacular.
Not for sure, man, because like I always, like I said, like I grew up on hip hop. I love it. So anytime anytime I make a song, it's my contribution to hip hop.
That's right.
You feel me? Because hip hop is an entire genre. It's not just that kind of music, this kind of music. Like fucking Big Daddy Kane is the same as Be Loved. It's all hip hop.
It's all hip-hop.
True.
It's all hip hop.
So what is the name of this new album that's coming out and where can everybody find you?
So this new album is called God's Time and it's gonna come out next month, I believe. I'm just trying to get it all right. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to make some moves. Like, for example, right? Reasonable Doubt. Like, a lot of Jay-Z songs, my man had a homie doing the Scarface voice, right? Mm-hmm. He did that intro. He sounded just like Scarface. Sounded just like him. Did the intro. Did the whole shit, the whole narration of the album. I'm trying to see if I can get homie to do the same shit, but that's gonna probably be like 500 to a band just to get him to narrate and say a few lines.
Yo, you see, and that VPR is just the icing on the cake when it comes to your artistry, when it comes to when you're putting out a body of work that you want to connect with people. These are the steps that you have to take. And
separates itself from everybody else. You know, he's not going into his phone and dropping it on a YouTube beat and throwing it together and saying check on the album. You feel me? This man is putting that work in. You guys need to definitely go and check him out. I'm excited. From what I just heard, I'm super excited for when your album drops. Please make sure you get us your tracks. We'll definitely have you on our Spotify list.
Oh, I got you.
FMI got New York on tilt.
Every time.
Like, get him your music. He'll have you all.
I definitely look forward to adding those records to our Spotify playlist, Jay Bliss. As soon as we wrap up this interview, I will be adding him to the VPR playlist. Guys, anyone that's tuning in on our live right now, please go and check out Jay Bliss, his music. And actually, where can they find you, my brother, before we get out of here?
Just JBL with an XSS. So it's Jay Bliss. Instead of an I, you put an X, you'll find me. If you're gonna stream it, J space BLXSS, Jay Bliss. That's how you find me everywhere.
There we go.
I love all the gems that you've been dropping. So we always love to end VPR Radio on a positive note. What would you like to share as our final positive message of the day?
To any artist, I guess, just keep going, man. Like, this shit ain't easy. It's not easy, and a lot of people sometimes they get very lucky. But the hard shit is to keep up with that consistency. If you blow up on your first track, how are you gonna do it? If you blew up by luck on your first track, how are you gonna do it again?
Right.
You feel me? Like, this whole shit is a process. If it takes you 1 year, 10 years, 15 years, you never know when it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? But if you don't put your all, your everything, and your passion into this, like, you're not gonna get nothing out of it. Like, for me, I'm doing this whole album and I'm putting it out. I know in like 2 years, I'm telling you, in 2 years, people are gonna be like, wow, that shit was slept on, based off the features blowing the fuck up and being like millions of followers here and there. And they're like, what the fuck?
Speaking into existence, and I believe it.
You know what I'm saying? Like the same way Jay-Z dropped his shit with Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige was just bubbling. She wasn't Mary J. Blige that you know now. But she starts off the fucking album, Mary J. Blige. So it's like now you're like, oh shit, Jay-Z had Mary J. Blige on the intro to his first track. That was people he was fucking with in his circle. That was people around him, people that he believed in, people that he brought into his shit. Yep. You feel me? And all of them together came and brought that and made that what it was. You feel me? Like, when those first albums dropped, he did it independent. He ain't do it with nobody else. People wasn't trying to play his shit or fuck with him. So he said, fuck it, I'm gonna just do it myself. His shit didn't pop to Volume 2 Hard Knock Life. That's 3 albums. Yeah. That's the 3rd album.
Yep.
It took it, and that's what it is with this. You know what I mean? Like you said, the overnight success, it happens. You know what I mean? People could Soulja Boy it, and the video goes big when they crank that. Or you could sit in here and you could be like 2 Chainz and have to reinvent yourself and change your name from Titty Boy to 2 Chainz to work. So VPR every Thursday, I can find me here. Of course, it's the one and only DJ FMI, and we're with the one and only Qianathegoddess. And Bliss for stopping by the show. Thank you.
So we love it. We would love to have you back very, very soon. Keep doing what you're doing, and we appreciate you, Jay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I believe in you. So continue being great. Seriously, keep up that work. Like, it's showing and it's amazing.
Yes,
no problem. Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all for having me on. Thank you.
All right, man.
Have a good one. What an interview, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Super dope.
He's an artist of artists, and that puts a smile on my face to see someone that's a student of the game.
Yeah.
Because me right now, I'm a student of the game. I meet DJs. I'm always trying to learn more about hip hop, anything that has to do with hip hop. It's just it's the energy, it's a vibe. It's VPR Radio.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Last night was fantastic. Today was fantastic. This just gets my afternoon going on a wonderful note. So my energy is feeling great. I can't wait to hear that entire album. No. And I'm gonna have to go and Google Translate what he's got going on in Spanish.
Qiana, go check out his music. His visuals are there.
You know, I'm about to download everything right to my Apple Music.
I'm gonna really add him right after this live ends, guys. Thank you for tuning in to VPR Radio.
Yeah, and we'll be back next week. I'll be live streaming from a beautiful location.
And I'm gonna put a beautiful location behind me. So I can feel like I'm right there, VPR.
Absolutely.
Right.
I got you, partner. Love you for watching, you guys. Stay positive, stay toxicity free, and we will see you next week on the one and only VPR Radio. Hey.